How is it that you actually take an order effectively? Hi guys, my name is Deepak Shukla, founder at the Pearl Lemon Cafe, and in today's training we're going to be talking about the art of taking effective orders. So, if you're interested in creating a 5-star customer service experience for anyone who walks through your door, this is the training for you. So feel free to subscribe if you want to get as much value from these videos as possible, and click the link in the description below if you're interested in getting access to the advanced training we won't be sharing through this series. So fundamentally, taking an order effectively is something that for some of you might not even have registered. You'd be like, what do you mean take an order effectively? I know how to take an order. Okay, but we're gonna boil down, or we're gonna whittle down the art of actually taking effective orders. Okay, so the typical, here's the first thing I want to chuck out of the window. The typical response is, what can I get for you? What can I get for you is a cliche. Okay, Richard, unless, again, what can I get for you? How can I help? These are two cliches that you need to be mindful of how you use. So how can I help and what can I get for you are cliched to the bone, meaning it's the typical perfunctory response you're taught in the customer service business when you're taking an order. What can I get for you? What are you having today? What are you looking for? Okay? Now, everything can change with tonality, okay? Tonality changes everything. So, for example, hi there, what can I get for you? Hey, how's it going? What can I get for you? How can I help? What can I do you hear the differences between those two? One of them is a bit flat and a bit, let's say, not boring but expected. Hi there, what can I get for you? And that does not feel personal at all, okay? Now, when you're taking an order, you got to make sure that you're engaging and interweaving that small talk, because if the small talk isn't built in, then you're not building any sense of personal relationship with the person in front of you. And that is critical, okay? That is absolutely critical. So it needs to be much more along the lines of, hey, how you doing? Is it your first time in here? Amazing. Coffee drinker, I assume? Okay, brilliant. Well, what's your normal coffee? And based around that, I can perhaps recommend something, unless you already know what you want. Do you see how that is a much more effective way to build rapport into the order? Okay, building rapport into the order. So the opening, when you're asking for an order, is an amazing opportunity to build a little bit of a relationship with the person who's ultimately asking. Okay, and you can combine that with anything else when it relates to small talk about their appearance, about this, about any, amazing. I like your style, by the way, dude. Separately, what can I get for you, man? Do you see that I'm bringing a little bit of laugh? I'm saying I like your style. I'm saying, dude. I'm slipping in all of these little verbal tactical strikes to ensure I can build an ultimately relationship really quickly. Okay. So the next thing is, depending upon the person, you can offer some insights. So that's where there's some answers, or rather some questions that will help ensure you know how to take the order effectively. Is this your first time in here? What is your is this your first time in here? Okay, well, what's your usual? What do you normally get when you go into a cafe? Because we're going to give you something that's better than your normal. Do you see how I'm taking an order, or I'm asking, but I'm building in a bit of camaraderie and humor into it? So is this your first time in here? It must be, because I've not met you before. What's your usual? So what's your usual? Okay, brilliant. So what's your usual? What ticks all your boxes? What mouth quenching goodness can I, what thirst quenching goodness, what thirst quenching greatness can I serve you up with today? So the whole element, or the whole strategy here is I'm building excitement and energy into the taking of the order itself. So when you take an order, it creates a customer service experience just through the mere act of taking an order, okay? So these are some of the things that you can begin to consider when it comes to taking an order. So they are the ultimately 4 things that I think, you could use as strategies. And outside of that, you could also say, you could pick between 2 popular items on the menu. Are you a latte kind of man, or do you prefer the classic Italian espresso? Because we can do either. We can even do both. We can even do both if you. So do you see here that you're also giving them options to help navigate their search? Are you a latte kind of man? Are you a latte kind of lady? Or do you prefer the classic Italian espresso? Because we can do either. We can even do both if you fancy it. Do you see how I'm making use of tactical pauses? I'm using ultimately options so that it envisions what they can pick between, and I'm adding in humor by saying we can even do both if you fancy it, and just going up 1 or 2 scales with my voice to add that little bit of humor and comedy, okay, by giving them options, okay? So we've got the first time approach here. First time approach. We've got the usual insight, right? We've got the box ticker. What ticks all your boxes? We've got the quencher. What thirst quenching greatness can I serve you up today? And we've got the options approach. Okay, so we've got the first time approach, a usual insight, the box ticker, the quencher, and the options approach. And between these, you should be able to, even just through the opening, take an order in an extremely entertaining way.